Welcome to the inaugural episode of South Dakota Updates. This is not the first weekly episode because it isn't weekly yet. Next week, I can call it weekly. I'm John Schwab, someone who has absolutely no extra time to do this, but I want to do it anyway, so here we go. The purpose of the show is to provide weekly updates in South Dakota news and provide sources to credible news in the state, and especially highlight news companies that operate locally. I want this series to touch on relevant events from all areas of South Dakota. But as I start this out, I only have bandwidth to make this a certain length and won't be able to get to everything. I also want to state that this is what is known as interpretation of the news. I recognize I have a bias and it might come into play as I inform you what's happening in South Dakota. I will do the best of my ability to present what I know and add in the entertainment part to keep your attention, like adding Subway Surfers to the side of the screen. Regardless, wherever you're watching this, I hope you consider subscribing to my YouTube channel or follow me on my TikTok, for now, and Instagram at Cotton Schwabi. And with all that out of the way, let's get into it. The 100th South Dakota legislature starts on Tuesday, January 14th. Governor Kristi Noem is planning to open with her State of the State address and will immediately head to Washington, D.C. for her confirmation hearing for the Department of Homeland Security on January 15th. This department will mostly oversee borders, which Noem has harshly criticized. As she should, she has lots of experience with border control between North and South Dakota. Even before the legislature takes place, lawmakers seem to be real flaky on whether they actually want to do the thing they were elected to do.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
That's too damn bad!
For example, Representative-elect Chris Reeder of District 1 had initially expressed concerns he wasn't going to be able to represent the Capitol due to health issues. He did confirm earlier this week that he will take on the position. On the flip side, State Representative-elect Herman Otten of District 6 wrote a letter to the governor's office announcing his resignation from the legislature. He had already considered retiring from this position prior to the 2024 election, as he had already served for 12 years. He said his reason to resign was family-related. Kristi Noem has the opportunity to appoint someone to fill this seat, or she could leave that up to her lieutenant governor. It's like Noem wants to leave the state capital in the worst shape possible. We have the South Dakota Department of Revenue fraudster taking a plea deal, which avoids jail time, but at least no other scandals are happening in the capital. Oh, what's that? There's more scandals? Cool. Attorney General Marty Jackley announced on Thursday that a former employee of the Department of Social Services was allegedly using grocery vouchers for herself. This is obviously bad, and this adds on to at least 5 other scandals involving current or former state employees. Like I said, I don't blame Kristi Noem for wanting to get out of there. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, I guess.
You're fired.
The Attorney General is saying that due to all these scandals, he's prioritizing items in the upcoming legislature that points to these scandals. Items like protecting whistleblowers and bolstering third-party oversight of state spending are on his agenda, as well as laws that enforce harsher punishments for human trafficking and requiring age verifications for porn sites. I'll try to continue keeping you updated as the 100th legislature starts in a few days, and that's all I have the bandwidth for this video. I hope you found it informational and interesting enough to keep you watching this long. I'll put links to all the news articles I referenced in the description below. If you have any suggestions on what you want me to talk about, please reach out to me on my Instagram at Cotton Schwabi. I started with a statewide thing to try and get the best engagement, but when I do more than one topic in a video, each topic will be more localized. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you feel inclined to do so. I'll see you all next week.